Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. We're zooming in and focusing in a little bit more in depth on how to recover positive self-esteem after you've been in an abusive relationship, a manipulative relationship, or even one that is overtly controlling, manipulative, where you really have found yourself on the wrong side of the stick. In other words, you have no leverage. You feel like you've kind of lost a lot of personal power because of this relationship. It has you maybe obsessing about what they said, what they've done, how they've treated you in the past. So you're kind of in like lockdown emotionally because of the relationship. How do you kind of make that shift and recover? Well, of course, that's the million-dollar question. So we're going to zoom in and focus in on that. Before we get started, I just want to give a super huge shout out to those of you who have recently donated to the channel. It is so good to hear from you. Thank you for your support. It's really viewers like you who keep me inspired to keep the content flowing and to at least let me know that this material is giving you positive change and positive influence. So thank you so much. And absolutely positively, if the channel here has been a positive resource to you, please feel free to participate and donate at the PayPal Now button here on the video. And so thank you once again, and as well for your comments and your positive emails. So we're zooming in and focusing in on how to really recover this sense of positivity, of optimism, of confidence, of self-trust, really truly of regular perspective after you've been through a manipulative relationship. And how can you kind of tell that you've been singled out, or this person is sort of really, taking you on as supply hostage, so to speak? Well, a viewer made a great comment, and you can really sort of see a pattern of this treatment is when you feel that this individual has like the look, the sneer, kind of the look that will shut you down, that they use again and again. So there's a manipulation, a control, sort of a look that's meant to negatively influence you or like send you a message without communicating. So, it's like the looks that could kill, the looks that pierce you with their eyes, the psychopath that has their psychopathic gaze. Oftentimes people feel, for lack of a better word, entranced by it, or they feel that they're sort of really super drawn in. There's this magnetic pull or allure. I can't take my eyes off of them. There's this experience which is really unique from other people. In other words, there's something really different about this person and the way that they look, and as well as the way that you feel around them. And I think that's a really important place for you to understand and reflect on. Does this person really make you feel different than everybody else? In other words, is there a tension? Is there something in their eyes which all of a sudden either you melt or you freeze? There's something on the extreme. You melt, in other words, like, oh my God, this person is so whatever, whatever. And it's like you feel that you're just sort of, captured, or that you're just sort of captivated by this person. And then you have sort of then, the negative side, which means they can also turn this on you, and it's a look that could make you freeze, like you're a deer in a headlight, like you cannot act. You are disempowered. It's very important that you understand and name this state within you, because basically this means that they are taking your control away from you. This is not a positive situation. Okay, that is not a positive experience for an individual to go through. Sure, while you're, watching a great movie, you're captivated by the movie. While you might be watching a speaker or a workshop where you're focused. This is something different where you're focused, but you can still think about what you're thinking about, and it stimulates thought. It stimulates you to action. You're inspired. You feel that there's something that your life is going to go on a new direction in a positive way. You have a new tool. You're learning a new skill. That requires focus. But we're talking about when someone, either says things to you that are meant to make you go, huh? And then self-doubt. If what they say to you triggers you into self-doubt, really, I shouldn't wear this. Really, I shouldn't say this. Really, I shouldn't do this. So there's this sort of, unconstructive criticism that they give you. Unconstructive criticism that they give you. This is a sure sign that you're dealing with someone who perhaps doesn't have your best interest in mind or is looking to disempower you. Take your personal power away. We literally, as human beings, have power. The power to create, the power to decide, the power to choose, the power of free will, the power to think for ourselves, the power to be creative, the power to learn new skills that we can support ourselves by. These are all skills and abilities that we are endowed with by the natural creator, the infinite divine intelligence, God, Yahweh, Buddha, Atman, whatever you want to call it, okay? There's something, obviously, there's a force bigger than human beings involved here. And don't feel that you're excluded. Man cannot create water. Water is a divine substance. This is created on this planet that the divine intelligence made along with the stars. The carbon in our bodies is made from collapsed stars. We are connected to the cosmos, which means order. Okay, so there is an order, in my viewpoint, which kind of reveals itself to you once you engage with what people would call a personal relationship with the divine, okay? So that is really a very important connection that you have. A conversation in your heart with the divine, a heart-to-heart conversation with somebody else, following your heart, following your own rhythm, the beat of your heart. These are all things which are attempting to explain this. When you're in a relationship with somebody who causes you to doubt yourself, chronic and ongoing, this is known as self-doubt. This is a disempowering state. And if somebody knowingly, consistently, and chronically does this, points out flaws, what I call the flaw finder, I want you to understand, and this is a very important concept, because a lot of people feel that they are deserving of this negative treatment. Oh, I deserve it. I deserve to be criticized. There's something wrong with me. They're smarter than me. They're more intelligent than me. They're richer than me. They're more talented. Whatever it is, subconsciously you've put them on the better than me quadrant. And so it's to understand and ask yourself, because this to me is a manifestation of anger, or someone who has an anger issue. They have an insecurity. They have a self-esteem issue themselves. There's an insecurity within them that causes this, which exists before you were even on this planet, before you were even in a relationship with them. The chronic criticizers, the manipulators, the narcissist, the psychopath, whatever it is you want to call them, this person has this issue before you even came into existence, before you came into their life. But lo and behold, these people will find someone to repeatedly sort of hone in and zero in on to get this leg up, to get control over, to feel better about themselves, is what they get out of it. Even if this is a parent, a sibling, a boss, a friend, even a stranger. These people, especially those people who are narcissistic, a lot of people, the misnomer is that these people have just this great confidence and self-esteem. Same thing really about a psychopath. Oh, they're so good. They can do things that nobody else can do. They're so smart. They're so charming. A lot of people fall into this trap. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. The narcissist, contrary to popular belief, they actually don't have big egos. They actually don't have great self-esteem. They actually have deep-seated insecurities. They actually don't feel good about themselves for one reason or another. Their height, their body, their position in life, what they feel about their skills, what they feel about the way that they love, whether, that they're different, whatever it is, there's a deep-seated anger and a deep-seated unhappiness, a deep-seated insecurity, which is sort of down, 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 and is like an infinite, an unceasing place. In other words, it is always there with them. These people largely do not change themselves because they don't believe that they need to change. They just think that this is how it is. And so this deep-seated unhappiness, insecurity, then kind of bubbles to the surface when they're around these individuals whom they have decided to target. They've decided to sabotage. They've decided to be the one that they try to control, that they, get to be in a reactive state, cause this self-doubt. So the anger oftentimes, or the constant criticism, or this manipulation, is to assist them to feel better and more in control and empowered, and it's all about me. They're getting something out of it. And then they do this to the person who is feeling real, genuine, and then has this developing insecurity, developing low self-esteem as a result of their insinuations, of their chronic criticism, the chronic way that they treat them. And so it's erroneous thinking to think that you are really all these negative things, and that you are self-doubt, that you are untrustable, you are unlovable, you don't deserve to be treated fairly, you don't deserve to be treated well. What? I don't think so. This anger, this need to control others, this insatiable need to have power over others existed in this person before you even set foot in a relationship with them. They've just found a great dumping place. They've just found a great place to unload it. They've just found a great place to step themselves up and take their self-esteem to the next level at another's expense. Particularly that of fault-finding. They're intentionally creating a dynamic, a stimulus-response effect where they make a comment and then you experience self-doubt. They give you a look, you experience self-doubt. They don't communicate, you experience self-doubt. It's this reactive, heated state. It's this engineered chaos. It's pulling out the worst side of you. It's pulling out this, what I would call a conflict consciousness, a tension, an emotional, negative state. This can become chronic and toxic. So I think it's very important that you understand that you are just sort of you just sort of walk in to this person's negativity, and therefore you can also walk out. You can exit the fight. You can exit the relationship. You can exit the tension. You can exit self-doubt. The pattern of thought and feelings, namely feelings, and then the subsequent thoughts that arise, is because this person is creating, like a domino effect, this effect on you or somebody who will serve the purpose. And so they're creating, somebody will say it'll rip you a new one. I never really understood that statement, but it's kind of like that, where they're ripping you a new low self-esteem. They're ripping you a new self-doubt. They're ripping you a new low self-esteem and lack of positive self-regard. So you develop a negative self-bias. That flow of words, a negative self-bias or confirmed negativity, is really what is experienced. It's a very sad, sorry state of affairs. And I know we have a lot of viewers who want me to do more viewers on what happens when the parent is the narcissist and then the subsequent, negative effect that they make on their children. This is a very sad state of affairs when a parent does this to their child. And we also have a lot of viewers who this is their love interest, their fiance, their spouse who they've been married to. That's also a very sad state of affairs. Imagine for a moment, if you will, that this child has known this their entire life, that all they've known is this dysfunctional parenting, this dysfunctional negative treatment. How terrible that would be, despite the environment that they are raised in, the schools, the jobs, the friends, the relationships, the landscape, the views, the houses, the movies that are all going. Imagine if this was an ongoing chronic situation where someone ripped you a new one from day one. Imagine how difficult that would be to get through. Imagine how painful that would be for that individual. Imagine how difficult it would be for that person to constantly doubt themselves day in, day out, from the moment they get up to the moment that they go to bed. How difficult and trained that they would be, and how difficult it would be to unlearn this conditioning. This is a very difficult, very, very serious, and I would even say epidemic in a lot of respects for people who have been in relationships with these individuals. Hence the channel here. I mean, we can take a moment and even just look at the news of the current president of the United States. Look at all the negativity. That is all we hear day in and day out. Nothing truly constructive or productive. Constant and ongoing negativity, battles, stuff in the courts, this person being fired, this person leaving. I mean, it's a constant sad state of affairs. And so really, how do you, I think to recover that positivity and then that self-trust is to understand that all this existed in this person before you even set foot in a relationship with them. That you happen to be an unfortunate dumping ground for them, a verbal and emotional and sometimes physical dumping ground. So to understand that it has nothing to do with you, it has everything to do with them. It has nothing to do with you. You are not unlovable. You are not undeserving. You are not horrific, impossible, too sensitive. All of these things that they have caused, this erroneous and flawed thinking within yourself. That is purely and exclusively a result of the projection and sabotage that a narcissist or a psychopath will create in their supply. Do they, is this consciously and deliberately, done? The narcissist, I would feel not so conscious to them because they just do it as this is just who they are. So if you happen to be their son, their daughter, their sibling, this is just what they do. This is just business as usual for them. So they will, find perhaps 1, 2, 3, 5 people, 10 people, or community to do this to, and sort of, do this superior than sort of treatment. However, in the psychopath, unequivocally, it's deliberate. It's designed to confound and confuse. So if that truth can help you and understand that this problem, the need to control and criticize and manipulate, existed in them always. It's not just you. And it existed before you even were in the relationship. So free yourself from that trauma bond. Get out of that relationship. Go no contact. Please. It's your body. Peace and harmony with you here.